All right, hello, lovely Scorpios. Welcome to Bear's Touch Intuitive Dream and Tarot reading. I'm trying a little bit of a different recording angle today for Fearless Friday. So let me know if this one works better. I feel like sometimes it's nice to get to know people like face to face. So I figured since our readings have been geared towards shamanic healing or kundalini energy or getting into your sort of spiritual energy, we'd start with the shaman oracle deck. Just jump right in. Happy August 18th. It is a Friday, 2023. Spirit, please look over and protect this read for Scorpio today. What do our lovely Scorpios need to know about their shamanic journey, their kundalini energy, awakening, their divine. The Indian cross came out again. Are you kidding me? That's come out like a couple of times over the last week, and sitting here shuffling. Number 2 might be significant to you. You might be seeing 1 2 1 2 50, the spiral. You might be 50 years old. You might be 52, 25. The ghost dance, 22, you might be 22, 24, 72, 74, 27. Cool. 28. So we're not going to read the full meanings for all of these cards. We'll just kind of go through a briefing, and then I think we'll read this one and this one. The Indian cross is related to entering multidimensional consciousness. We have like the directions of the dimensions here, and then the shaman's job is to basically enter into this like oneness consciousness or zero consciousness to be able to thread the eye of the needle through dimensions, which is also sort of what this spiral indicates. It's being able to, like, all of these planes here, you can imagine them like different dimensions, and most of the time we're walking through them sort of like through time in a 3D, like time goes forward and each of these ones is like a moment in time. And the shaman basically exits 3D consciousness into witness consciousness and is able to perceive the dimensions through time. And that's what this spiral unfolding looks like, and that's what this hole in the middle of the Indian cross indicates, is that witness consciousness, essentially. The ghost dance is, in this deck, it talks specifically about the Plains Indians ritual of the ghost dance. The ghost dance is interesting because when colonists came to America, it was the display of this ghost dance that was the most threatening. And I think it's because what the ghost dance relates to is the traveling of like energetic consciousness after our bodies have decayed. If you ever watch, like, I want to say Ancient Aliens is one, but there's some programs on like Gaia TV that talk about the energy grid of the earth and how monuments like Stonehenge or there's some megaliths in like northern Italy, and some also in North America, but in like the southern states. There's one specifically called, it's like the Snake Mound. These all relate to the movement of the energy of the dead after they've passed over, and that energy is, from a shamanic perspective, molecular consciousness. So the ghost dance was basically to join with that energy of the ancestors and summon the ancestors to like be among us in the present. There's a lot more about it that I don't know. If you do know more about it, please let me know in the comments. It's a really interesting tradition that was pretty much eradicated by colonists after they came to North America. But one of the things I really enjoy about this is the idea that one of the shaman's jobs is to sort of make peace with death by understanding that time is an illusion, and through time is an illusion, and that we can access the knowledge of people who have passed on, our ancestral knowledge, and even the molecular knowledge of plants, or in Aboriginal Australian traditions, it's called the dreaming. And the dreaming is essentially like this cosmic place where time doesn't exist, but all things that have ever existed do. And it's where we come from, it's where we go back to, it's where we go when we dream, and it's where we go when we enter vision states. So the ghost dance is basically asking you to engage in some sort of ritual or even meditation where you tune into your ancestral knowledge, whatever that is for you. Okay, and then the jaguar spirit looks over, specifically it looks over shamanic journeys in South American traditions. And I want to read this card to get more information about it, but what I love about the jaguar spirit is its power as a totem for shamanic journeys, for that vision quest, like that witness consciousness, literally entering into witness consciousness and being able to like traverse the ethereal realms. So this is some cool stuff we're getting into today. It's not at all what I expected, but what did I expect? I don't know. Let's read card 28, the jaguar. Protector of all life in the Amazon, and in times of fear she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the way beyond death and is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, night and day. The invitation for this card is to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, push your limits and boundaries. She's delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places that you have been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that jaguar instinct will serve you well. So this is like the divine feminine shadow, the intuitive knowledge that takes us into the dark depths to reveal the light there, basically the keys to our shadow in the process of the individuation model from like Jungian psychology, if you will. Let's read the ghost dance also. American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. That's cool. The ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer you. Create a sacred moment at your altar, light a candle to them, and let your wisdom infuse you. Let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you are done repeating their tragic stories. Step into the abundance that is offered to you. Receive the gifts of those that have come before you and write a new story for your life. That's really cool. So you're basically on this spiral of the ever unfolding cosmic creation, ending the generational patterns that have maybe plagued your family before you, or even your past lives. Maybe you've been in a past life that's like, or a repeating life rather, where you're in some sort of like Groundhog's Day, learning the lessons of your present incarnation over and over and over, and you finally learned those lessons and you're able to perhaps move on to the next plane after you pass from here. This Jaguar card is bringing in future knowledge if you want to meditate on the Jaguar. And then this Ghost Dance is saying that like your ancestral knowledge has been commingling with your present. Cool. Let's clarify with tarot. I like that this is Fearless Friday, and then we have the Jaguar here for fearlessness. Whatever my Scorpios have been letting go of on this channel, it's like there's been all these indications in our past readings of moving into more like sacred knowledge or esoteric knowledge, and this reading's just major confirmation, and it's really cool. I don't know what you all are studying. All right, let's clarify this past, present, and future. Let's just do 3 cards in between these 4. What are these cards indicating for Scorpios in their past, present, and future? Remember, time is an illusion, technically. It's part of this sort of 3D matrix that we come to experience in our 5D bodies and a 3D body, basically. So 3 of Pentacles indicates mastery, aristocracy, royalty. It also indicates like sound healing. You might be working with sound healing. 3 Pentacles, community, the triple goddess. You might be working with maiden, mother, and crone. And then the 2 of Wands reversed, indicating what this card is indicating in this context is that no matter where you go, there you are. So you've sort of been running from yourself potentially, or you're done with that cycle of running from yourself and you're ready to just sort of face the music. 5 of Wands in this context is indicating just the sort of struggle that is inherent in being a 3D being in this world. Justice coming out here. Okay. Cups, Pentacles, and Justice. King of Cups reversed. Okay, so this is telling me that there's been, because of your spiritual beliefs, because of this like mastery of your spiritual temple that has allowed you to overcome these generational patterns or previous life cycle patterns, you've managed to encounter this sort of triple goddess energy, maybe in your community, maybe you're maybe you practice Wicca, or maybe you're reviving some sort of like ancient spiritual beliefs. Maybe you sort of like harken back to more pre-Christian pagan ideals, and this has caused some battles with your ancestors, your family, your community. And despite your attempts to change this or to work with your shadow side, to like delve into the depths of your shadow, you sort of, no matter where you go, there you are. But you're receiving justice for this because it's being revealed that these ways, the traditional ways of wanting to just kind of go back to the way things were, actually come from a place of non-empathy for particularly the spirit realm. If you look into this book I actually have right here, it's called The Lost Language of Plants. And then one of my favorite authors, his name is Jeremy Narby. He wrote a book called The Cosmic Serpent, DNA and the Origins of Knowledge. And it's about molecular consciousness and being able to interact with spirit in nature. This guy, Seven Herod Boner, I don't know how to say his name properly, I'm so sorry. He coins a term called biophilia, which is literally the knowledge of nature in your like molecules. It's the sense of being a natural being in nature, and how that is sort of being undone by our lack of interaction with nature on a daily basis as a collective, and how this is actually like skewing the inherent knowledge of basically like our chemical structure to be able to do naturally what it is we're built as creatures to do. So he's sort of talking about the process of evolution. Whoa, the Sun, the Empress, and the Four of Pentacles coming out. So you sticking to your ground in this, you are who you are, getting justice for that, because of this realization that a lot of the traditions that our institutions are founded upon necessarily eradicate the idea of spirit, which is sort of a non-empathetic thing to do, sort of a non-empathetic like viewpoint of the world. It's revealing that this is from a place of lack consciousness or needing to be stable or maintain stability in our institutions, which is fine, except that the idea that there is spirit sort of needs to be, in order to be in this Empress energy, to like have that fertility, the healthy wheat, like the bring in the like correct sort of natural hormonal and chemical balances, like not only as creatures on this planet, but like as creatures as part of the major environmental ecosystem that is this sort of closed unit of this planet in space. Bill Nye the Science Guy was on, I was listening to something on TikTok the other day, and he said this planet is a closed unit. There's nowhere else to go. And he kind of was like upset that everybody was just not doing anything about it. And there were all these comments like, yeah, but you know, we're not the billionaire overlords or whatever who run the major companies and whatever. But what it comes down to is that our interaction with nature on a daily basis as individuals actually brings us sort of back to that source knowledge, our ancestral knowledge, and that witness consciousness that allows us to sort of see interdimensional realities, if you believe in that, or that whole attention goes, or energy flows where attention goes thing, and that's what we create. Entering into consciousness of biophilia, knowledge of yourself as a natural being in relation to other life forms on this planet, just by like going out in nature, or like having houseplants, or keeping a pet and just, you know, interacting with your pet or your family on a daily basis, and then looking at ancestral knowledge. That is where, if you put your energy there, let your energy flow there, then you sort of draw more of that into your life. So this reading is calling for the Scorpios that are here today to really embrace radically the idea of everything living around you having a soul, and or a spirit, or whatever it is that you ascribe to. that whole, like, you know, Pocahontas, that song in Pocahontas when she's talking about how rocks and trees and creatures all have lives and spirits, and even names, like proper names from, you know, their sort of spiritual, otherworldly names, like when you go on a shamanic journey, for instance. And I've never done ayahuasca, but in Jeremy Narby's book that I mentioned, he talks about how the ayahuasqueros enter into this plane of consciousness and like learn the names of plants by doing that. It's a really interesting book, and it's just a really interesting concept. The Page of Wands. Yeah, so you're just getting started on being able to communicate these sort of new ideas, in being able to like wield this staff of like spiritual messages from the other side, from your ancestors, from your past lives, and from the living beings around you. And you're going to receive justice for this. Anything else for Scorpios today? I think I might just leave it at that. That was really powerful, and some pretty intense messages coming through today, and I was not expecting that at all. Any other messages for Scorpio today? Two of Cups reversed. This may indicate that whatever your idea of union was, like with yourself or with another, be changing radically because of this like union with spirit. The moon, what you don't see, yeah, your intuition. You have the sun and the moon here with the Empress and Justice as your major arcana. That's pretty powerful. Your union with spirit is literally a union with the natural world, is what I'm hearing here with this, the moon and the Two of Cups reversed, plus the Empress and the sun and the moon, like the forces of nature. Ace of Swords, that's the truth. That's all I have for you today. That was a clear message. Just boom, that's the truth today. So if you resonated with this reading, please let me know. If you do have some sort of special cool relationship with nature, post some pictures of the bugs you see or the trees or whatever. And if you know anything about these books, or yeah, anything else resonate with this reading, let me know in the comments. That was super cool. I appreciate you all for being here, and yeah, I'll be back, I don't know, this weekend or next week. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I'm open for personal readings on Etsy. I totally forgot. If that interests you, I have different price points, and you can also donate on Patreon if this is something that you would like to do. So thank you so much. Bye. Love and light.